Dave from the Redneck Garage. Well, my friend Melissa, if you remember, let's just take a little look back at when I looked at her Jeep last time. I can see that the exhaust gasket looks like it's been replaced at some point. The nut's got a couple marks on them, and it looks like a newer, doesn't look like a factory style gasket. So let's start it up and look underneath, see if we can see anything. Lord have mercy. Oh yeah, there's the crack. You see there's a big crack right there in the exhaust manifold. Right there, you see it? So you can obviously see that it needs an exhaust manifold rather badly. So I've ordered a new exhaust manifold. Here it is. And we're going to be installing this on the 6-cylinder 4.0 Jeep engine. And we're going to see how that goes. Let's get started. Alright, so she's starting to cool down a little bit. First thing I'm going to do is take off some of the externals like the air intake here. Probably unhook the accelerator cable. I'm going to try to keep as much intact as I can and take that off than not. I am going to have to take the intake off, but I'm going to try to keep the injectors in line without taking all those apart. So let's get started taking this thing down. I decided to do it today because the temperature dropped, man. It was like 105 today. And then it looked like it was going to rain, and it got cooler. So I went ahead and said, hey, let's get her done. So that's cool. I'm going to get my Milwaukee impacts and things like that so we can get this stuff taken off. Okay, I got the belt off, and now I'm taking off the power steering pump, which is kind of a challenge. Just wanted to hang in there a little bit. Alright, we got our 3 bolts out of the power steering pump, which moved it away from the intake. Now I'm going to start taking off bolts off the intake and see how close we get with that baby. For these, you really need a flex 14mm to get these bolts up. Now I'm going to go ahead and take them all across the top there. I will say these ones underneath are a biatch. I've got all the top ones off. Now I'm working on the, I think there's 3 on the bottom, if I'm not mistaken. There may be 4, but I'll know here in a minute. They're no fun. There's one of them. She is. Okay, so we got those out of the way. Right here, you can see this one. Okay, there's that bolt. So our intake is loose. I'm going to try to just kind of pull it out of the way a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and unhook my injectors because they're on this rail. Now your fuel line remover is going to look something like this. It basically goes up inside this quick connect and you slide it around. And basically press in, and it releases the little fingers inside there. Alright, so our fuel line is disconnected. Okay, once you get your forward bolts out, I went ahead and unhooked the fuel line just to make it easier. You can kind of pull your intake out of the way, and then your exhaust manifold should pull out. Now I'm taking a look at the intake and exhaust gasket. And we're going to go ahead and put a new one on. Even though this one looks like it's been replaced more recently than later. It doesn't look that old. Here's our new one. We'll carefully set that back in over the pins. Alright, this is our new one, and I'm going to slide that baby on down in there. Alright. You're just going to set it over the bolts in the bottom. Okay, so we got the bottom bolts on and tightened down halfway, and we got the two top ones tightened on the new exhaust manifold. Now it's just a matter of getting our intake put back on, and should be able to start those bolts on the bottom and slide it in and then tighten them down rather than trying to start them in there. So I'm going to do that real quick, and then we'll start reconnecting things. Okay, so we got it over the bottom ones. Now instead of one on the top, just kind of hold it up there. And then we'll tighten the bottom ones down. Because they are a pain in the butt to get to. Okay, we're down to the easy stuff now, basically. Man, it's hot out here. Putting our power steering pump on, that kind of stuff. Not much else left. Make sure we got every connector hooked back up. Now for the moment of truth. Woohoo! Okay, we're done. Holy moly, it sounds so much better. I sweat through 2 shirts. It's hot. It's time for a beer. Hang on a second. Ta-da! Through the magic of motion pictures, I now have a beer. Man, that's good. Putting on the exhaust manifold is not that hard of a job, it's just a pain in the butt. Now remember, on your intake manifold, after you get your exhaust manifold in place, you can put those 4 bolts, the lower bolts in, and just leave them all the way out and set that in and get it up on the pins and then tighten it down, which is a lot easier than trying to get those things threaded up in there because they're at a really bad angle. Those are the biggest pain in the butt. But sounds like $1 million. It's working a lot better than it was. Man, I'm happy. We'll call Melissa and she can come pick her up. David from the Redneck Garage, keep. Turn and rinse.